This gas in. And the final report, $34.28 got us $10 and 10 gallons, 10.20 gallons of gas, 204. And we're gonna fire it up again. So just for remembrance's sakes, as you guys recall, we went all the way down to empty on this suspect gas gauge right here, unleaded fuel only. And if you notice, we went all the way down to empty. I put all of 5 gallons back into the tank, just, you know, about a couple ounces spilled on the ground, give or take. And now that the gas gauge went all the way below empty, when we put those 5 gallons in, it just barely got above empty. Now, as you saw, I just put in 10.2 gallons. So that's a total of 15 gallons in this tank now. And I'm about to fire it up. And I just want you guys to hear how it sounds fired up and how that gas gauge. And again, 46 miles were put on from when it went below empty to when it went empty. 45.3, and now it's full 46 to get to the gas station. So now it's 15 gallons worth of petrol that are in there, unleaded fuel only. Here we go. As you heard, it fired right up. No hesitation, no stuttering. So that lets me know, I mean, you hear that engine revving right there. That lets me know exactly what I suspected when I put the original 5 gallons in, and look at that gas gauge. It shot all the way up to half a tank and held. That's pretty cool. So that lets me know 15 gallons and I'm right at about half a tank. I want to see how this gas gauge holds as we drive. I'm gonna basically keep the camera on myself and on the gas gauge, and as I see the gas gauge fluctuating, I'll pan back to the gas gauge so you guys can see it as well. But that's again for you guys who are just tuning in. When I bought this van off the guy, a lot of you guys will remember the guy that I bought it off of. His name was Kenny. Decent individual. He let me know, he said, you know, he did some things to the gas gauge for fuel efficiency, some things like that and what have you. And so he told me to never fill the tank all the way up. And that kind of stuck in my head, and I just kind of put it back. And if you saw in the gas gauge, you saw a little wire coming out of there, a little coaxial cable kind of wire. Hold on, let me turn on the light so you guys can see me. That wire, it was some of his jerry rigging of some sort. That he jerry rigged a wire going from the from inside the gauge monitor. All right, we're back on the we're back on the main road right now. Again, this is Mission Road, but where we're on right now is called Van Buren, and it's one of the widest roads in Southern California. I could take this road all the way to the beach, to the Pacific Ocean, and I'm about 60 miles away from that right now, but this road just keeps on. Just so you guys can see where I'm driving right now, let me turn it around. And that's where we're headed right now. This is called Van Buren, also known as Van Buren and Mission Road. So we're on Van Buren right now. That is the train track. You can follow those train tracks all the way to the Pacific Ocean. Those train tracks go all the way to the Long Beach Port of Call. And so we're heading back now. Just so you see the gas gauge, still holding steady right at a half a tank, just above a half a tank. It's not bobbing and weaving like it had been doing and not giving me a true reading. I truly believe that we got a half a tank of gas in this van right now. And I'm gonna keep the gas on the gas gauge there for a while as we drive on. But yeah, and he told me that he's like, never fill it up. That really confused me. And what I noticed is that I never let it go to empty this whole time. I've had War Machine now going on 3 months, almost 4 months. And as you see the true mileage, I've only got 111,000 miles on War Machine. So we're still real good van. But I could never tell what the true deal was with the gasoline. And that used to aggravate me to no end, because how can I trust this? When I drove all the way to, and you see we're coming to a stop. It went up, the gauge actually went up a little bit. And now I come to a stop and it kind of settles. So it does fluctuate a little little bit, but not anything really to speak of. And so if you guys remember on the trip up to Kingman to get the titles and everything, I was very concerned. I wanted to fill up that gas can that you guys saw I just used when I was on the first trip up, but I didn't. It just didn't. It wasn't in the cards. I just took off on it. But what it wound up making me do to feel more secure about it, I kept stopping. Every time the gauge went below half a tank, I would pull off to a gas station and fill up regardless. And I felt like that was being a way too conservative as it would be. And I've always wanted to know what true empty was on this van. So that's what I did. About a week ago, as soon as I got the alternator fixed on the Honda and I was going to start driving the Honda again, then I knew I was going to park the van for a bit. So what I did was I drove the van down to empty. And when I got to empty, I pulled into the Costco gas station and I got the gas canister out, the old Army surplus gas canister, and I filled it up with 5 gallons of premium gas. And I put it in the back. I then drove on empty all the way back to my house, about 12 miles. I parked it, and I've been driving on the Honda for about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks now. Finally today, my wife wasn't with me. I wasn't in any danger. I had a lot of time. And I said, if it conks out and something happens, I'll have time to deal with it. And so that's basically what I did. I put that, oh, let me move this light and put it behind the camera so you guys can still see me. And so that's basically what I did. I wound up taking it all the way to the limit. We drove the same street that we're driving on now. I drove this street all the way out to the boonies. And I was on my way back just thinking, wow, this gas tank is really big, when it finally conked out. And as you can see there, it's still holding at full at half a tank. I'm coming to a stop. Do you see the dip? Was there a dip as I'm applying the brake? I'm coming to a complete stop. No, if anything, there was an increase, a slight increase, but it's holding just above a half a tank. So, I mean, I don't know about you guys, anybody that's more of an expert on old vans and old, gas mileage and things of that nature. But you see how, like, right now when I start, it's flush with half? And then as I get cranked up, it's probably going to go back up to slightly above half. But you can actually see that, you see it? You see how it's rising right now? That's why I say that gas indicator is not true. It still keeps fluctuating. But now we know that we got about a half a tank of gas in there. And that's good to know. And we know that once that gas gauge actually bottoms out and goes to empty, I got at least 45 miles of travel left in it in the event of an emergency before I'll need to put more gas in. Also, we know that those 2 Army-Navy surplus gas canisters that I bought are the real deal. I can put those inside, I can fill those up with gas so I can drive around with 10 gallons worth of gas in the back of my van and it will not leak, they will not expel gas, they're secure. They'll hold that gas secure without smelling up the van with the gas smell for as long as I need. And that's really great, especially for off-roading. And so, hope this helps somebody. Hope if you guys are being confused with your gas, you might want to do the same. Get you one of those Army-Navy surplus gas canisters. I bought mine for 40 bucks on eBay, and they are the real deal. They're Army green, they're secure, they do not leak gas, and they've got everything you'll need to, in a pinch like I just put myself in of running out of gas, to be able to fill up your gas tank and get where you need to go. I'm Mike, this is War Machine. As you can see, War Machine is still hauling booty. I'm going 70 miles now, and that gas gauge is still holding firm at just over a half a tank. So we appreciate you guys riding out with us. We're headed home. Wish you guys all the best. In the comments below, make sure to leave your comments, and we'll catch you guys on another episode. For War Machine, I'm Mike. Let's go!